Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a guest round from All with Sonic, who has got Nova Gundam and Drunk Zaku with him. And yeah, he is in the Dreissen, which is still really, really good. It's got a, it's just basically a high-end Dom is what it comes down to. Got the same kind of movement. It can use either a beam axe, which is, I believe, is what he's got here. Yep, or the more traditional Dom heat saber, I believe. Yeah, and it's got the tri-blades, which were some of the first reticle following weapons. In other words, you can steer them with the right analog stick and do all kinds of fun things. Sonic just landed them in the middle of his combo, so. And yeah, in case you haven't stopped by Sonic's YouTube channel lately, Sonic is a VTuber now, which I believe he designed the rig himself. Looks really good. And yeah, just congrats on that, because, oh man, I know, no matter who did it, that is a lot of work to get going. But yeah, looks really good, and yeah, check it out. Yeah, the other thing Dreissen has going for it is it has beam machine guns in its wrists, which are pretty solid. They do low damage, but they fire a lot for not a lot of heat consumption. So you can really just keep those going for quite a bit. But yeah, it's Dreissen is still really good at the various high costs, and you still see it a fair amount. It's been kind of overshadowed, I think, by some of the significantly fancier things at this cost, but it's one of those things that there are certain high-cost mobile suits which are, they have some new tricks, they have some additional abilities, but if you're wanting to play something like the suits you're fond of at low cost, there are sometimes options for that, and the Dreissen is basically one of them. If you're good with Dom types at the lower costs, the Dreissen's here for you. And the additional things it does bring to the table, like the beam machine gun, which, as you can see, does fairly well, and the tri-blades, which are really nice, do give it just that much more utility. Let's see, but so far this is going really well. 54.95 to 14.68. It was at 20.43. Yeah, they're just kind of the Sonic's team is being worn down by attrition finally, but for the first 3 minutes of the round they had a commanding lead. So now the question is just when your team does start getting worn down like that, the question is how do you respond, and if you can keep it together and if you can keep coordinated, it's that is pretty much the secret. Let's see, Drunk Zaku said fall back for now. Yeah, Nova and Zaku are both by the base, so yeah, if they looks like they're getting ready to get everybody to spawn there. Zaku's taking a lot of damage though, because yeah, the enemy team is a little bit more reinforced at the moment, I think, than Sonic's team was. Starting to remedy that, though, so if they can chase off some people like the one with the Gatling there, that would be good. Was that a Gat? No, that's, I think that's one of the MP's Hyakushiki Kai, so, or something like it, so if there was something firing a Gatling, it was something else. Might have been the beam machine gun on that Gear Zulu, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think I forgot to mention the beam axe on the Dreissen also has one-hit knockdown, much like the Heat Glaive for the Doug Schneider Freet and other lower-cost suits have. So, yeah, again, an awful lot of its arsenal is very familiar, which, again, is, if you can find a familiar setup that worked at higher cost, that's not bad news. I'm glad they went and buffed some of the higher levels of low-cost suits, because I feel like, to a certain extent, those are, what's the word, unfairly dismissed at higher costs. Oh, good shot on that pilot, nice. You can make them work, it's harder, but you can make it work. It all depends on the situation. But, I've said it before, there's very little in the game I think is unworkable. There's always going to be things that could use improvements. There's always going to be some things that, can really be devastating in the right hands. I think what it comes down to is how many hands those are. The Ball Noxamon has gotten like three rounds of buffs because it's really kind of hard to use optimally, but once you get it going, it is just tremendously damaging. But so in its case, I think the trick is buffing it to where more players can get there. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm not, in terms of, I am very much an amateur when it comes to game design, game balance, and those things. So, I have opinions. I would love to sometime hear, professional opinions about the game balancing here. What's being attempted, what's being, what's being accomplished. Just see how all that, how it looks to someone who has been in this business, and what they think works and what could be done better. I think, I've said it before, I think this game does a lot of things right. I think there's more things it could do right, but also, could be a lot worse. I've wound up talking to a lot of people lately, oddly enough, about Gundam Battle Operation Next. I think just because of, there's always people who wish that non-UC things could come into the game, and I agree. And, ow. But, I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind... I think what I would not mind is seeing a Gundam Battle Operation Next 2 built on the GBO2 engine, because this engine has expanded to the point where I think you could actually do that now. When the game first started, I thought, the game ran too slow. It's still slower than other Gundam games, but I like its pace. And the game was, just the engine was not suited to all the different kinds of mobile suits that and weapons that could come up, but there's an awful lot in here now. There's the transforming stuff, the hovering stuff, the tanks, the super modes and all. You could do, a lot of things in this that you couldn't have done 5 years ago. So, yeah, I'd love to see like I said, GBO 2 Next, GBO 2 Plus, something like that. But yeah, Next was one of those games where if you didn't have this week's mobile suit, you were just doomed. Like, I tried to go back to it after a couple months off, and it didn't work at all. So, good tackle there. And yeah, right now you just stall because it's almost the end. Okay, good last second kill by their GPO4, so that is the round. And yeah, worked out really well. Good team, and yeah, very nice. Let's see, Zaku got top score at 6,000. Man, that's like, what, half the team, or half the score? 6-3, 96,000 from Sonic. So yeah, between the two of them, they got about 10,000 out of the 14K of this round. So yeah, good stuff. But that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. Thank you very much for the round, Sonic. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later! But yeah, I'm kind of in full-on ramble mode here today, I think. But yeah, I really do think there's enough different ways that mobile suits control in this game now, and different, alternate modes and things. You could probably do a convincing Next-style GBO game on this engine if you wanted to. I would not mind that, even if it was a single-player, thing like Code Fairy or something like that. Would not mind it a bit. But, I kind of have my doubts on that. If you've asked me when Barbatos or Ariel or one of those is going to get into the game, my, default guess is still never. But, who knows what the future brings with this game style and this game engine.